Anything that might confirm your old sense of self, they take away.
One of the constants of 20th century Jewish immigration, of Jewish intellectual movements, has been to lessen the power of Europeans in America.
And why is that?
And because they felt that that power represented a threat to them, and especially in the long run.
They wanted to have the United States become less Christian, less
European.
White European.
Yeah,
why is that?
Because, and then you can easily find Jewish activists who say that when they talk about immigration. But the idea is that if you have a homogeneous European society, you can easily evolve towards Nazism. Mm-hmm. In other words, but if you have a society where each ethnic group has a sort of, only a very, very limited power, then that could never happen. You can never have a coalition.
So the New York Times coverage of the Israel genocide in Gaza has been despicable, of course, right? What do you expect from the New York Times? They lie about everything. They lied to you about COVID and Ukraine and Russiagate and Joe Biden's dementia, and now they're lying to you about the Israel. But they do it in subtle ways. Like, they're very clever people. They all went to Ivy League schools, so they know how to do it in very clever ways. Like here, Barry Malone caught this. He calls it one of the most egregious sentences I've ever seen in a work of journalism. It takes talent to write a sentence like this, write a sentence this supine. Look up supine. I think it means
okay.
Israel's military operation. That's what they call what they're doing in Gaza, a military operation. They didn't call it. So I would write this, first of all, right off. The jumping off point would be Israel's genocide, which began after the Hamas-led attack on southern Israel, October 7, 2023, has killed more than 18,000 Palestinians under the age of 18. Now, what is another word for that? Another word for a Palestinian under the age of 18 would be a child.
Mm-hmm.
You'd call that a child.
It's just grotesque. Like, it really makes you wonder, what's driving that? Because anybody anywhere in that conversation is going to objectively be like, well, that's you making an attempt, an effort, a public effort to not say that word. So why? What's the driving force there? Is it the editors? Is it the funding? Something, because it's not, like you said, it's not unique. This happens every day.
It gets even worse than this paragraph.
You want to know what supine means?
Yeah.
One, of a person, in parentheses, lying face upward.
Yeah,
or
what's the
two,
second definition?
Failing to act or protest as a result of moral weakness or indolence.
Or failing to protest because of moral weakness. Okay. That's a good use of the word supine. Very nicely done. So they have killed more than 18,000 Palestinians under the age of 18 who do not, according to the Gazan health authorities, who do not distinguish between civilians and combatants. About 2/3 of them did not reach their teenage years. Of them. So you know what that's called? Those are called prepubescent, right? That's what you call them, children.
Right.
Children. You call them children. They said 2/3 of them did not reach their teenage years. A New York Times investigation last year found that since the start of the war, the Israeli military has significantly loosened safeguards meant to protect civilians, including, oh, look, they did. They finally used it. They finally used the word children. So that it's, so I guess the New York Times, what the reporters are they misunderstood what it means to cover a story. They think covering a story is like when a cop pulls you over and you cover your bag of weed on the seat next to you. They try to cover it. They think it means trying to cover it up. They're the opposite of reporters. But that was, according to Barry Malone, one of the most egregious sentences I've ever seen. And so here's some of the responses to that. Absolute word salad to avoid saying Israel is a baby-killing machine. 2/3 did not reach their teenage years. Like WTAF. Compare it to the coverage of 19 to 20-year-old IDF soldiers get. Disgusting from New York Times. And 2/3 of them did not reach their teenage years. It's almost like they forgot the word children even existed. Yeah, here's one more. So much to unpack. Significantly loosened safeguards. I can only assume they're referring to systematic targeted murders of journalists who might otherwise report Israel's atrocities. Yes, that is what they're talking about. So they won't use the word children to describe the people who are being killed in Gaza who are children. The New York Times they just won't do it. But go ahead, Ryan.
I'm not sure if I'm supposed to jump in or not, but
yeah,
but
go ahead.
On top of that, Melania comes out and has this whole big sprawling post about protecting children in Ukraine. You know what I mean? As they're deporting children, or rather stopping children with disabilities from coming in to get treatment, that we're only going to go back to Middle East afterward. You know,
Right.
it's so selective. It just kind of makes you sick when you watch these people, when all of this is very public and they know what they're doing.
They know it. Yes. So what's funny about this is that the Onion is very predictive. That the Onion, December 5th, 2023, every word besides children used to describe Palestinians under 18. They did a whole article on this. They did this in December of 2023. So 2 months after the war broke out, the Onion was on this, that they'll use every other descriptor for children being slaughtered by Israel than children. And then they have some funny ones. Do you want to hear some funny ones? Here are some funny ones. Pre-corpse. Use it in an effort to be more politically correct. They call them a pre-corpse. Or how about missile magnets? God. For whatever reason, Palestinian children seem to love being on the receiving end of bombing operations. Missile magnets. How about incubator jihadists?
See, that's not that far off, actually. They've made statements damn near exactly like that in the Knesset, even in this country. Look at Randy Fine's Twitter account.
Yeah, every Palestinian is they're Hamas, right? Because they support Hamas. Incubator jihadists, premature babies in Gaza are often referred to by this more threatening term, incubator jihadists. Wow. Okay, here's some more. Brown-skinned humanoid designed to elicit empathy. Don't let their sad little eyes fool you. These kindergartners are mass murderers who thirst for blood. Browns, itty-bitty murder guys. You can call them that. Or, depending on the news story, itty-bitty murder gals. How about prepubescent killing machines? AP guidelines specify that any Palestinian younger than 12 should be referred to as this, a prepubescent killing machine. Wow. Or how about Hamasito, which is Spanish for little Hamas? How about the butchers of Israel? Palestinian children collectively have earned themselves the moniker of a notorious serial killer, the butchers of Israel. How about small human-like beings? At least the media is willing to acknowledge that they may have been near personhood, human-like beings. How about basically adults? And adult deaths are sad. Sorry, we don't make the rules. Adult deaths are not sad. I'm sorry, I misread that. Adult deaths, they're just adult, they're basically adults. Anti-Jews. This phrase comes from the Zionist belief that Palestinian children all come from a negative dimension and are the inverse of the Jewish people, anti-Jews. Or how about adolescents? And look, they came close. A more formal term for children, that is. That's it. No subtext here. Just a nice synonym to beef up your vocabulary. Adolescence. So, the fact that they were on this in December of 2023, The Onion, and they're still doing it. Right, Ryan, just respond to this in however way. I just can't imagine the people who still read the New York Times and think they're getting the news. It's the same thing as MSNBC, Fox, CNN. It's like, you really think these people are giving you the news? If they gave you the news, they would be fired, like Chris Hedges was let go from the New York Times when he told the truth about the Iraq War, like Tucker Carlson was let go when he told the truth about COVID, the vax, and the Ukraine war in Syria. If you are telling the truth in corporate news, you don't hang around long.
Right. Ask Alison Morrow. She knows too. Right. You know, I think this is just an example of how predictable they are. They being just, any power structure that's trying to propagandize you. But in this case, very clearly Zionists. It's just been clumsy lie after clumsy lie. for, a long time, but really people have been seeing it since October 7th. And so this is just like, it's easy to predict this. Now, Onion's been doing this well for a long time, or the Babylon Bee, like where the joke is what, 6 months is the difference between conspiracy theory and reality these days, or whatever the kind of saying has become. I think it's just because it's easy to see the kind of lazy arguments, or rather, I would argue more desperation. Everyone sees what's happening, and so what are they going to do? They have to make up some kind of deviation. So I think that's why it's so easy to predict these things. It's everywhere you look right now.
I agree. New York Times doing fantastic work. Not as good as the work I'll be doing in Rutherford, New Jersey, Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver, Chicago, Appleton, Wisconsin, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Louisville, and Rosemont, Illinois. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. Over to Steph.
All right. The Kid Pulley says, so Maha is fake, Doge is fake, anti-war was fake, and the economy is still shit. Aren't we past that gotta wait and see with Trump phase? Thank you, the Kid Pulley. Kerp squealed like Vince Neil from Motley Crue as he sliced his finger to the bone whilst gnawing on pickled pig's feet like a beaver gnaws on a tree. Everybody can guess right now who said that. Everybody? Misha, do you have a guess?
Unvaccinated guy?
Jimmy, you got it. Unvaccinated guy. James Turner, Joe Paterno did nothing wrong. Why are you so sure, James? Why are you so sure? Hey, Jimmy, does MS now stand for massive sucker snow?
Ha,
Suckers
nice.
Now. Suckers. Massive
yes,
suckers
it
now.
always stood for that, I think.
That's Finbar. Look at you, Finbar. It's so hot out. It's got Kerp sucking on some more stuff on a frozen turkey neck while rubbing his body with the frozen innards and giblets like I've cubes to cool off. Everybody?
Unvaccinated
Yes,
guy.
unvaccinated guy. You got that right. It's almost like he has his style, those twists and turns. Shout out to Ryan. The point is, he says the point is a lot. Kerp, are you by any chance in December in Scottsdale with Nerdrotic? Jimmy, you are Jimmy. Switzerland. Thank you, Switzerland. Hey, Jimmy, please, please, please interview Dr. Tom Gowan regarding the existence of viruses. That's the core issue. Oh, Hoppin. Thank you for that, Hoppin. Zim and Vice. How about self-amplifying sanity? A. Barnes, look into Blackwater connection to ICE. Eric Prince wrote up a plan for Trump to have mercenaries in America. Oh,
happening.
It seems like it, right? You mispronounced Maha, Jimmy. You know it's Miga, that Kid Pulley. Let's see here. Mad scientists in white lab coats. F. Thank you, F. German scientists are working on ssRNA. F again, you're back for more. Has RFK ended big pharma kickback to individuals that approve vax and other drugs? If not, this is long overdue. Stash, hold on, Stash, you get the bell. Thank you, Stash. And here we go. In a perverse throwback to Xmas story, Kerp was triple dog dared to twerk naked on a frozen flagpole and got his anus stuck to the frozen pole. Everybody?
Unvaccinated guy?
Yeah, good guess. That was good guess. Yeah, you couldn't tell, right?
No.
Because something got stuck to somebody's anus. That's the one that, I'm like, it kind of sounds like unvaccinated guy. Back to Jimmy.